Welcome to Unfiltered Hummingbird. I am your host, Camellia. Hey, we're going to unpack some questions, interview some guests, have a little fun together. Come on, let's get to it. All right, as promised, here's part 2 of Sonja Moffett's second part of her interview. She is the producer and songwriter of Faithwritesmusic, and her new single is We Need Healing.
I didn't get the job. Time went by, 5 to 6 months, and then that decision was made. Like, this isn't profitable for us, and we're not going to move forward with this. And I was just like, wow, Lord. So if you are going through something, people, please trust in the Lord. Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says that we are to trust in the Lord with all our hearts, lean not into our own understanding, but in all our ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct our path. And so we have to really, really hone in on that verse. And if we're reading His Word and He is speaking to us through His Word, not to reject what He's saying and not to say, oh, but Lord, but, no. Let your will be done, Lord, because He knows His will concerning you, and that's Jeremiah 29:11. So I had, with the song, I mentioned Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. I integrated that into the song We Need Healing. With my father being sick, and with a lot of people being ill around me, with me having my psychological and mental breakdown at work, it was, I need to be healed of this. There was entitlement that I had. There was arrogance that I had. There was this need to elevate for maybe reasons that weren't the best reasons. I didn't take that pause to look around and say, oh, I'm okay. I'm safe. Yes, I'm isolated in a place I've never been, but I'm safe. I'm dwelling in the secret place of the Most High God. And though I want something else, I got to be grateful for what God is doing right here, right now. And so that's the other piece, everybody. You may not be getting what you think you want or what you think you deserve, but take a pause and really know, where are you in this moment? Are you really doing well? And are you the cause of your own unhappiness? Because I was the one depressed because I didn't get that thing I wanted, that idol that I wanted. And so I had to really humble myself and pray in that situation, and that's where the healing began. And as I mentioned, I was playing every day, playing, and it wasn't, the Lord started speaking to me, and it wasn't quick. It wasn't like I went and got the keyboard yesterday, and then, the next day I got this big revelation. No, I had to continue to read. I had to continue to pray, and I had to continue to go through what I was going through. I had to walk through that pain because God was molding me, and He was humbling me, and He was showing me myself, and it wasn't pretty. It was ugly, and
That's good.
I didn't like what I was seeing in myself. And when I started to see my actions, I wasn't displaying the fruit of the Spirit at all. I was bitter. I was angry. I was blaming other people. I was having self-pity, self-doubt, and it was all about me. Because if you listen to the story I'm telling you, it's mostly about me at this point, right? So one day, and it was maybe 6, 8 weeks later, that I was playing this song musically, and these lyrics, I started to hear them flow, and I could hear it. It was so weird. It was in my mind, but I could hear all the parts going along with what I was playing, and they simply said this: you have all authority. We will only worship you. We will only pray to you, and we will only bow to you. And that was it. That was the beginning of the song, We Need Healing. And so as I started to write that song, it was really about Him being a deliverer and healer. And that's who He is to us. He delivers us from these setbacks that we have in our lives. And He heals us from our own self-inflicted pain, because that's what I felt. I was inflicting myself with pain. I wasn't doing bad. I just wanted more. And why? What was I going to do with it? And so I just really wanted to give that back to God and say and acknowledge to him that you have all authority. And so that's what the song, that's how it was birthed. And towards the end of the song, I do go into telling people when they feel like all hope is gone, that God has the power to right the wrongs. And sometimes the stuff isn't wrong with everybody else. Sometimes we're wrong, but sometimes it is legitimately the system is wrong. Sometimes there are systemic issues that are going on. And at the time with George Floyd and a lot of other situations that were going on, oh my goodness, it was just too much pain. And it was just really about, you have the power to right all these wrongs. You can write January 6th. Now we're seeing right now in 2023, at the end of 2023, Trump is finally seeing some type of at least conversation in court. I don't know if he's going to ever go to prison, but we're starting to see these things, but we're starting to see other things, like things in the Middle East. So we still need healing. And that's what this song is about. God has the power to right the wrongs, but it's our responsibility to make sure that we seek him and his righteousness first. And then he's going to add those things that we desire, because we need to seek him first, so that we're not giving ourselves glory or credit. It's my education, it's my effort, it's my this, it's my years on the job. But it was because of the glory of God that I was able to do this and able to even get back into music. And so that's the story of how We Need Healing came to be.
That is amazing, Sonja, because did you know that you wanted to write again, or did you know that you wanted to write a song or get back into music? I know you said it had been like 30 years.
No, I didn't.
So this came all in the midst of you going back and getting your degree, your master's degree, and wanting a promotion that ultimately it didn't happen. And the reason why it didn't happen was because it wasn't going to be a job 6 months down the road.
Period.
But you didn't know that. Oh.
No, I didn't.
And in the midst of that, I like that where you said this was like the 6 to 8 week journey. So tell me, if within that 6 to 8 week journey, while you're still going through this and, you're still playing your Casio keyboard, was this when the bitterness, blame, arrogancy, self-pity, and self-doubt, this entitlement, is this when all of that was kind of coming out as you were playing and kind of working through this?
Yeah, well, it was there before I got the keyboard, because I was depressed. Okay. I didn't get the job before that. But yeah, this is where God started to reveal these things to me. I was still self-pity. I was still going through all that, but he spoke to me like 6 to 8 weeks later.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, because I had to read and process what he was saying. But, sometimes when you're reading that stuff and you want to go find the verses that talk about no weapons formed against me will prosper.
Me shall prosper. Every tongue that rises up against me, you will
shall be condemned. And condemn them, Lord. Then your follow-up prayer is, condemn them, Lord, because they did this bad thing. Right.
But right. Real talk, though. And like I like what you brought up. You said you wasn't doing bad. You just wanted more. And sometimes that's what it seems like what was causing the problem. So because you wanted more, that's what caused, the root of it is that's what caused more. That's what caused the issue. You wanted more.
Right.
So because you wanted more, you went and got the master's degree and had your eyes set on a position, a promotion that now you see that it didn't line up with what God had for you.
Right.
And then also, isn't it interesting how you moved from Michigan to Georgia, life circumstance with your mom and your dad, to be close with them in an area where you said isolated, alone. And you're right, when we have our mask on and that was the one thing that I was missing. I'd like seeing people smile. See them, because when you're talking, because I smile all the time.
Yeah, you have a beautiful smile.
Thank you. But I love smiling at people. It was one of the easiest things to brighten up somebody's day. But you're right, son. You couldn't see that when we had our mask on.
Right. You sure can.
So just with even that piece of it, because That's a lot to unpack, because during 2020 there was a lot of people like yourself that were in, and you moved from one state to another state, but there are people too who were just local within the same state, and they didn't have pets, they didn't have children, they didn't have spouses, they didn't have boyfriend, girlfriend, they were just there by themselves.
Right.
So I'm glad you pointed it out. And yeah, you're right. As Christians, we're people too. I mean, the same stuff that goes on, we deal with those same things. I think the one pivotal thing that gets us through is, like you said, it is your faith anchored you.
Yes.
It was just the one thing. I mean, I don't know what else to do but pray. That's what's always gotten. That's what I grew up seeing. My mother, my grandma, my great grandma, my aunties, my great aunt. I grew up seeing them do it.
Yep.
So
that's right.
It's gonna be all right. They always said that.
That's right.
It's gonna be all right. And sometimes it's just, you said you would only went to your mom's house once a week, but let me ask you, was there like security, but wasn't there security or safety that you found in the home? It was something. I know when I went back to my nana's house when she was alive, I sometimes didn't want anything, but if I walked in her house, oh my goodness, I could just sit and just felt like what she always used to tell me, it's going to be all right.
Yeah.
It's going to be all right. Sometimes
Absolutely.
that's all you need, is just to be in the presence.
That's right. But you know what's so weird about this time in life, Camellia, is that our tables have turned, because now I have to be the encourager.
Mm-hmm.
I have to show up, and I can't show up depressed. So I have to put on another type of mask, right?
Right.
Got to be there for them and encourage them, and they're tired, and they're slower, and it's a lot. It's a lot to deal with. And now Pop turned 94, and so he's made it to 94 years old, and I'm just so happy about that. But it is a blessing. He is terminal now, so just wanting to be that ray of light for them. As they are, I think God gave them the gift of him living this long, since he was diagnosed in 2020 to now, just to give them that time to say goodbye. I kind of look at it that way. Not to know when this will happen is really odd, but it gives us all a chance to spend those times and say those words and those things that maybe we just took for granted because life is moving. We're all doing stuff. We're all moving around, doing things, and so busy. Everybody seems so busy now, and we don't oftentimes have enough time to just be there for one another. And I think that when someone's terminally ill, you are more intentional in your actions and interactions with them.
Yeah, and I like what you said. You said take the pause.
Yes.
It's needed. Sometimes you have to be present.
Yep.
You have to be present in that moment. And how old is your mom? You can say.
Mom's 80.
So 80 and 94. And how long have you been married?
46 years.
Wow.
Yeah. It's me since I was 7. My mom, they got married when I was 7 years old.
Yeah. That's a blessing. My husband's parents, both of them have gone on to be with the Lord. They were married 51 years.
Yeah. That's love. That's something else.
That's some love, some compromise, some hey. Well, that's one of them.
What we were, one of the things that with this song, again, he was able to hear it, go through its stages. And, Camellia, I moved to Georgia. I was allergic to Georgia. You probably hear a little something in my voice right now. So I am allergic to Georgia, and this is the worst part of the year for me, which is why I sound so raspy. But I couldn't sing at one point. So I want to tell you about how did I go from just playing the song to hearing the song lyrics in my head to getting into a studio and actually doing something with it. And that's funny because now I hear these words. I'm like, oh, my goodness. I go run, grab the phone, do the lyrics, because I have to sing it out so I can get the idea down. And then, I kept building on it and changing it and evolving it over some more time. And finally the Lord just spoke to me and said, okay, it's time for you to record it. I'm like, what? I don't know anybody. Where am I going to go? So it's kind of like, when God calls you to do something, he's going to equip you with what you need, right?
And gives you step by step. Don't you love that?
Yes, he does.
Don't you love that? I love
He
that piece, because I was going to ask you, so how did you stay motivated to kind of work through all of it? Because this is a long process and a long journey. And you don't stay motivated, in my opinion, you don't stay motivated with this unless your ears and eyes are tuned and sharpened to hear what's my next step. So you going through it just literally like, okay, I'm getting the lyrics, got the lyrics, okay. So all of a sudden God says, okay, now record it.
Record. I'm like, what?
Okay, so
where am I going to go? I don't even know anybody.
There you go. So now you say, unpack that, Lord.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Who?
And it wasn't hard to motivate because the music was healing me. Me playing was healing me.
Okay.
That was the biggest part of my day. When I got off work, it's turning on that keyboard and getting busy, and I could sit behind that thing for hours,
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the easy part. But the hard part was, what? You want me to do what now? And I sounded like this. So I'm like, I don't know if I could do this. And so I just think about Moses, right, when God told him to go back and tell Pharaoh to let his people go. He's like, I can't do it. You want me? Are you sure?
I stutter. What are you talking about?
Right.
I stutter. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Exactly. Yeah. So I thought about that, and then you think about people like Jonah, who's like, I'm not going there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So finally, so I thought about those things. Those are quick thoughts, and then it was just like, okay, I'm not going to do this because you closed those doors for a reason. Maybe you're doing something new in my life, and I don't know what it is, but at that point, I was doing blind faith, Camellia. I was just like, okay, I'm going to do whatever you tell me to do. Whatever he told me to do, I did. And so I Googled studios in this little town I live in. And the first one that popped up, I called it. Ended up going to see this guy. Remember, we're still in COVID, so I'll go to see this guy. I got my mask on. He had a really state-of-the-art studio. It was absolutely gorgeous. And so what I told him, which is something that you're about to learn about me right now, is that I play what God gives me to play. I am not a trained musician, so you're not going to put sheet music in front of me and I'm just going to start playing. I'm not that person. I hear what God gives me and I play it. And so I told him, I said, what I'm going to do is I want to lay my framework down, and then I want you to build upon that, because he was a producer. Because you have producers and you have engineers, right? He was a studio owner. And so he was a studio owner who rented out his studio to other musicians and groups and people like that. But he wasn't a musician. When he told me that, I was like, what? How do you have this beautiful studio? He had all the instruments. I mean, every instrument you could think of was in this place. And he was like, no, I'm not your guy, but my friend, my partner, he's going to be a better fit for you because he actually does gospel music. I was like, oh, okay. So he introduced me to his friend, and his friend is the guy that I worked on the song that you now hear. His name was James, and he's the one that I ended up working on this with. And that was just the Lord, because I had to go to this one guy to get to James, and James actually works with other recording artists, and he could have charged me anything. I told him, I said, listen, I'm not one of your high-paying clients, so I'll come in whenever you have an opening, just please work with me. And James just really, he worked with me, and I just feel blessed because of the work that he did on that song was incredible. And I was doing my reference vocals, but I couldn't breathe. I was sounding like
just because of like the allergic type of allergies and stuff that going on in Georgia compared to when you were in Michigan.
Yeah, and the other thing is they have crops and stuff here that I didn't have. Cause, I'm a city girl. I'm from Detroit, so I'm living in a town now where we have cotton fields down the street, so these crops. And so what I am noticing is it is a specific season that I feel this way. So I'm going to be going through this until the end of January, and I'm not confessing anything like, well, the power of life and death is in your tongue. I'm not confessing. I'm telling what's happened to me, over the 3 years that I've been here. This is a trend. And so, and God can heal me from this because he's a deliverer and a healer. I do understand.
Yes, he is. So, Sonja,
But
how did you pick the recording studio first?
I went to. I
You
told
said
you.
you Googled it, but how did
Yeah.
you pick? How you picked the one?
I just went to the first one because
The
that
first
was.
one. I see that. That's blind faith. That's just like, okay,
Yeah.
you said record it. I'm just gonna Google it. Found a recording studio close by. Okay, there. I'm going there.
Boom.
That's kind
And
of
then
about
he
to
was like,
okay.
I can't help you.
Oh,
I can't help you. Go to my boy. And then
So listen, here's it. Here's the thing is God gives us that next step, right? Next step, the lighted path. Lighted path shows you that next step. The
Yep.
lighted path doesn't show you what your goal is, what the end result is. The lighted path gives you just what it says, the next step. All right,
Yep,
y'all hear that?
exactly.
It's the next step. I just wanted to point that out. It's the next step. Okay.
Thank you. I like that. And the next step ain't gonna light up until you complete
and
the soldier to go on.
Exactly.
Good. All right, that was a nugget right there. So I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So this guy James, he introduced me to Artishea, who did some reference vocals for him, and she also does backgrounds for people. So I met her. She came in and she did some references because what I was going to do at this point, the goal at that point was to simply write songs and then submit them to recording artists for their consideration to do. So I was never going to be the artist, nothing like that. I just wanted to, get the songs recorded in a nice quality to get it over to the other people, the record companies or A&Rs, say, hey, this person, I would like to submit this song for this person to record. And then they make the decision, right? So you kind of shop that way. And man, oh man, she did such an amazing job. I was like, I felt like I discovered somebody like in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. Sorry, where I live, but immense talent. And we just started working together, and we just made the decision. You know what? Let's go ahead and put this song out. Let's just do it. I'm not going to shop it. I'm not going to market it. Let's just go for it. And so we spent the year because, like I said, James works with other artists, so it took a long time because we have to wait till he gets back in town to, to work with us and stuff. And then he does the mixing and mastering and all this other stuff. So it was a process, and we finally were able to get it released. I didn't know nothing about the music. I wasn't doing music. I was doing something else. I work in corporate America.
Yeah. I mean, see, that's what I'm talking about. We're talking about dreams, remember?
Right.
I mean, the whole thing was out. It seems like this delay of the job or this challenge of not getting that promotion, it turned out into be like your purpose of finding and getting the Casio keyboard that brought up the healing that you needed. And it seems like self-discovery too of those things that was in you, because you said you were causing the problem, and the things in you that was causing the problem were those things you highlighted: bitterness, blame, arrogancy, and then through that process of just being humble, like you said, if you humble yourself, you just humble. Well, God he will humble you.
Yeah, he
just
will.
being humble and to be able to change. Said, I want you worth more than that.
Look at that.
So, and congratulations for going through the journey, still going through the journey, I want to say.
Yeah.
Because it is a journey. Life is a journey. Our life episodes, this is like just one of your episodes that you get an opportunity to share, and an opportunity not only to share your episode about what happened, about how compassionate God is, but that the gifts and callings of God, He don't take them back.
No.
So that talent He gave you, that ability to hear and play a song and then put it out there to the world, we all have those gifts.
Yes.
We spend our lives seeking and waiting for them to be revealed to us.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's in the funniest ways,
Go ahead.
Love that. No, it's in the funniest ways. As you saw that journey, it's like I wasn't thinking about anything about music. I was trying to go get this job. Sometimes we're working so hard to do something. We're on that treadmill, or that hamster wheel. We're just running. And the Lord's been back going, daughter, can you step off the hamster wheel and come to me and ask me what I have planned for you?
Just for a moment. Can I have a little bit of your time? Just like you said, God told you, you're giving them my place in your life. He said, can you come back to me? Can I talk to you? It's almost like, can I talk to you for a minute?
Yep.
Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? If you're done, come on over here.
That's right. Let me put you in a quiet place where you can't hear nothing.
Oh, yeah. And sometimes we get in that quiet place and we still close or put our hands over our ears and like da 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 da. But
yeah,
when you're ready, and thank God you came to a space when you were just like, okay, I need some help.
Yep.
I need some help. Well, Sonja, thank you so much for being on the show. Oh,
thank you for having me.
So wonderful. So wonderful.
I agree. It's so wonderful to reconnect with you and see the great things that you're doing too with your podcast. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Sonja, for being on the show. Y'all, I'm going to get a small clip from We Need Healing, and we're going to play a little bit of it, and then we're going to have some, I'll give you, in our show notes, I'll let you know how to get the song, okay? Sonja, thank you so much, girl.
Thank you, Camellia. I'll talk to you later. And
all right,
y'all be blessed. Everybody, Happy New Year.
Yes.
Be upset by the setbacks. Just understand that the setbacks sometimes are the set up.
Say it again.
The setbacks can be your set up. Get ready. All right?
That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. And will happen because we don't understand it all. But like you said, Proverbs 3:5.
Trust him. That's right.
All things. Acknowledge him in every way. Every way. Oh, thank you for that final nugget, Sonja. Thank you so much. You be blessed.
Thank you. You too. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye. All right, that's all we have for today. Join me next time on Unfiltered Hummingbird. I am your host, Camellia. Until then, have a blessed day.